Hello students, welcome back to my channel. Today I am taking class this for the class 12th, chapter 12, ecosystem. Here I am starting with your exercises. First one, fill in the blanks. Plants are called as producers because they fix carbon dioxide. In an ecosystem dominated by trees, the pyramid of numbers is typically inverted. Is typically inverted. Next one, in aquatic ecosystem, the limiting factor for the productivity is light. Common detritivores in our ecosystem are fungi and bacteria. The major reservoir of carbon on Earth is ocean's fossil fuels. Ocean's fossil fuels. Which one of the following has the largest population in a food chain? They are correct option is decomposers. The second trophic level in a lake is zooplankton is the right option. Secondary producers are none of these. Correct answer of this was the zooplanktons, that is the small crustaceans and small insects. Here no one is there, nothing will be there. What is the percentage of photosynthetically active radiation, PAR, in the incident solar radiation? It is 50%. The PAR that ranges from 400 to 700 nanometer, that is 50%. Distinguish between grazing food chain and detritus food chain. Now here you see the distance grazing food chain and detritus food chain. Grazing food chain starts with producers, that is the plants. It starts with dead organic matter, detritus. Second point, energy flows from plants to herbivores and from herbivores to carnivores. Here energy flows from dead matter to detritivores and detritivores to consumers. Examples: grass, insect, frog, snake. Grass is eaten by insect, insect is eaten by frog, frog is eaten by snake, right? Here example, dead leaves, they were taken by the earthworm. From the earthworm dead and died, it is decomposed by bacteria. Second is production and decomposition, right? Second point, it you see, second is production and decomposition. Now here, production and decomposition, plants convert solar energy into chemical energy or organic matter in the form of food. In decomposition, breakdown of dead organic matter by decomposers. Breakdown of dead organic matter by decomposers. Outcome, that is the biomass increases. Here nutrients released back into the atmosphere or the ecosystem. Example photosynthesis, here example bacteria and fungi. Now your third one is upright and inverted pyramid. Now here you can see upright and inverted pyramid. Under upright pyramid, base wider tapers upward, मानी कि बेस नीचे चौड़ा होता है, जैसे जैसे ऊपर जाते हैं तो वो पतला होता जाता है. बेस नैरोवर ब्रॉडर एट द टॉप. इन्वर्टर में बेस नैरो होता है और ऊपर जाने पे चौड़ा हो जाता है, ब्रॉड होता है. सेकेंड, इट शोज नंबर ऑफ बायोमास और एनर्जी डिक्रीजेज. जैसे जैसे पिरामिड नीचे से चौड़ा होता है, ऊपर पतला होता है, तो ये शो करता है कि बायोमास एनर्जी जो है कम हो रही है. इन्वर्टेड, इट शोज बायोमास और एनर्जी कैन बी हायर एट हायर ट्रॉफिक. ये इन्वर्टेड में नीचे छोटा होगा, जैसे जैसे ऊपर जाएंगे तो ये बड़ा होता जाता है. एग्जाम्पल जैसे ग्रास, ग्रास इज ईटन बाय ग्रासहोपर, ग्रासहोपर इज ईटन बाय फ्रॉग, फ्रॉग इज ईटन बाय स्नेक. तो ये ग्रासलैंड इकोसिस्टम, तो यहाँ पर ये ग्रास ज्यादा है, जैसे जैसे एनर्जी लेवल ऊपर जाएगा बायोमास एनर्जी कम होती जाएगी. यहाँ पर जैसे फाइटोप्लैंक्टॉन्स, zooplankton, they were fishes, oceanic biomass pyramid होगा. और phytoplanktons, they have rapid turnover, शॉर्ट लाइफ, जो फाइटोप्लैंक्टन ज़ूप्लैंक्टन होते हैं, इनका लाइफ टाइम जो होता है बहुत शॉर्ट टाइम पीरियड होता है। तो एनफ फूड फॉर द लार्ज बायोमास ऑफ ज़ूप्लैंक्टन, जैसे फिश। तो फिश वगैरह के लिए ये जो फूड प्रोड्यूस करते हैं, इनकी जो क्वांटिटी होती है वो बहुत ज़्यादा है। लेकिन यहाँ एनर्जी लॉस 90% एट ईच स्टेप, सो लोअर लेवल सपोर्ट हायर लेवल। यहाँ पर है जैसे लोअर लेवल, ये जैसे ग्रास है, ग्रास से ऊपर जब ये ग्रास ऊपर जाएगा तो 90% एनर्जी इज लॉस्ट एंड ओनली 10% इज ट्रांसफर्ड। तो जैसे जैसे ऊपर जाएगा एनर्जी लेवल कम होता जाए, इसीलिए पिरामिड जो है इन्वर्टेड से ये ब्रॉडर से फिर जो है ये कम होना शुरू हो जाता है। योर नेक्स्ट इज फूड चेन एंड फूड वेब। एज यू नो, फूड चेन, फूड वेब, वेरी सिंपल वन। Various stages of eating and being eaten is called food chain. And food web, network of interconnected food chains. Network of interconnected food chain, it is called food web. Here, single path of energy flow, there are multiple paths of energy. जैसे grass is eaten by insect is eaten by frog is eaten by snake. ये simple food chain है. It shows ecosystem complexity. इसमें जो होता है ecosystem complexity show करता है, जो कि वेरियस फॉर्म्स में होते हैं। जैसे आप ये देखिए, यहाँ से ये अर्थ फॉर्म से है, ये बर्ड है, बट यहाँ पर भी जो है ये बर्ड जो है, यहाँ पर ये हीट एनर्जी है, ये अर्थ फॉर्म से भी है। बीच बीच में मल्टीपल सोर्सेज जो है यहाँ पर, जो डिफरेंट ट्रॉफिक लेवल्स पर जो होती है वो अलग अलग होती है फूड चेन्स। अभी आपको हम आगे दिखाएंगे नेक्स्ट में। Litter and detritus. Litter and detritus. Litter, dead plant material on the soil surface. Detritus, it is decomposing organic matter including litter plus other dead stuffs present. Just example, broken down of the leaves, dead organisms and fishes. Here fallen leaves and twig, it is the litter. But detritus में इसमें आपका litter आता है प्लस आपका डेड स्टफ, जैसे ब्रोकन डाउन लीव्स है, डेड ऑर्गेनिज्म है, फीकल मैटर वगैरह जो है, ये सब भी डिट्राइटस में इंक्लूड होता है। एंड योर नेक्स्ट वन लास्ट, दैट इज द प्राइमरी एंड सेकेंडरी प्रोडक्टिविटी। यहाँ पर आप देखिए प्राइमरी प्रोडक्टिविटी और सेकेंडरी प्रोडक्टिविटी। हियर रेट ऑफ बायोमास प्रोडक्शन बाय प्रोड्यूसर्स मींस प्लांट्स, हियर रेट ऑफ बायोमास बाय कंज्यूमर्स एनिमल्स। हियर जो आपका प्रोडक्टिविटी है दैट इज थ्रू ग्रीन प्लांट, दे प्रोड्यूस द लाइट एनर्जी थ्रू द photosynthesis, whereas in this case, in case of secondary productivity, through consuming and converting fruit, वो कंज्यूम करते हैं और उसे फूड में कन्वर्ट करते हैं, जैसे वी ईट द फूड। जैसे प्लांट्स प्रोड्यूसिंग न्यू टिश्यूज, बट हियर एनिमल्स गेनिंग वेट। यहाँ प्राइमरी दैट इज अबाउट प्रोड्यूसिंग द न्यू बायोमास। प्लांट बेसिक, भाई प्लांट क्या है, सोलर एनर्जी को केमिकल एनर्जी में कन्वर्ट करते हैं और उसको सारी एनिमल्स के लिए एज ए फूड प्रोवाइड करते हैं। हियर सेकेंडरी इज अबाउट कन्वर्टिंग इट। यहाँ पर ये सेकेंडरी पोजिशन, यानी कि ये खुद नहीं बना, हम लोग जो एनिमल्स होते हैं दे डू नॉट मेड। द सेकेंडरी प्रोडक्टिविटी इज दैट वी कन्वर्ट इट, वी कन्वर्ट दैट बायोमास, कंज्यूम करते हैं, कन्वर्ट करते हैं। अब आपका इसमें नेक्स्ट है डिस्क्राइब द कंपोनेंट्स ऑफ एन इकोसिस्टम। जब हम कंपोनेंट्स की बात करते हैं, कंपोनेंट्स ecosystem component, they are into two groups, biotic and abiotic. Biotic, living things, plants, animals and microbes, and abiotic, non-living factors such as sunlight, soil, temperature. Abiotic components, they are further divided into producers, consumers and decomposers. Producers, autotrophs, organisms that can make their own food through the photosynthesis, they are called autotroph, all green plants and algae. Consumers or heterotrophs. What are heterotrophs? Organisms that get energy by eating other organisms, for example herbivores, carnivores, omnivores, right? And decomposers break down dead organic matter, returning nutrients to the soil, for example bacteria and fungi. Abiotic components, they are the non-living physical factors, sunlight, temperature, wind, rainfall, topography. Chemical factors, that is the water, air, soil, minerals and essential nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus and carbon. These components constantly interact with energy flowing and nutrients cycling between them, forming the foundation functional ecosystem, whether it's a small pond or entire earth. Now next, define ecological pyramids and describe with examples pyramids of number and biomass. Eighth one. Now see here. Define ecological pyramids and describe examples pyramids of number and biomass. Ecological pyramids are graphical models showing energy biomass or number relationships between trophic levels in an ecosystem with producers at the base and consumers at the top, explaining energy flow and ecosystem structure. The pyramid of numbers counts individuals at each level. For example, grass is eaten by rabbit, rabbit is eaten by fox. तो यहाँ पे जो है pyramid number उसी के बेस पर चलता है. And the pyramid of biomass shows the total dry weight of organisms at each level for forest trees, deer, wolf. So these pyramids are actually upright but can be inverted as aquatic biomass or spindle shaped numbers. Ecological types of ecological pyramids, जैसे pyramid of number. Pyramid of numbers में क्या होता है? It represents the total number of individual organisms, each successive trophic level, upright, जैसे grassland ecosystem. Base, many green plants, producers, middle, fewer rabbits eating the grass, that is primary consumers, and top consumer, even fewer foxes eating the rabbit, they are the secondary consumer. So inverted parasitic food chain, a single large tree producer supports many insects, primarily consumers, which are eaten by fewer birds, etc., creating an inverted shape. Pyramid of biomass, it shows the total dry weight biomass of living organisms at each trophic level, measured per unit area. When we ask example upright, the forest ecosystem, here base is large biomass of trees, it is producers, smaller biomass of deers, they are primary consumer, top even smaller biomass of wolves, that is the secondary consumer. जो biomass जैसे ही आप जाते हैं तो ये inverted होता जाता है. Examples inverted aquatic ecosystem, phytoplanktons producers, they have a small biomass but reproduce rapidly, supporting zooplanktons, they are the primary consumer, with larger biomass, which in turn supports small fish with even larger biomass, etc., leading to an inverted pyramid. I hope it's clear to you. Now the next one, what is primary productivity? Give brief description of factors that affect primary productivity. Now here I have taken primary productivity is the rate at which producers like plants convert light energy into organic matter, that is biomass, through photosynthesis, forming the base of an ecosystem, that is the food web. Factors affecting primary productivity, first of all, light, essential for photosynthesis, intensity and duration directly affect production rates, with more light generally leading to higher productivity up to a point. Nutrients, availability of essential nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium is crucial, with limiting nutrients reducing productivity. Temperature affects enzyme activity in photosynthesis. Optimal ranges are needed, and extreme temperatures slow down production. Water needed for photosynthesis and plant structure drought significantly limit productivity. Carbon dioxide, a primary reactant in photosynthesis, its concentration influences the rate of organic matter synthesis. Topography, factors like altitude, latitude, and shape and slope direction, not shape, it is slope direction affect light exposure and microclimate. Soil type and moisture influences nutrient and water retention, impacting root absorption and overall plant health. Plant species, different producers have varying photosynthetic capacities and nutrient needs. Grazing or herbivores, Pressure from herbivores can reduce producer biomass. Now your next question, 10th, define decomposition and describe the process and products of decomposition. Here, decomposition is the enzymatic breakdown of complex dead organic material or detritus from dead plant and animals into simpler inorganic raw materials by decomposers, an important step in nutrient cycling within an ecosystem. Process of decomposition, fragmentation, dead organic matter is broken down into smaller pieces like earthworms, insects, that is the detritivores, leaching water-soluble inorganic nutrients from the detritus. Detritus are washed down into the soil layers, becoming unfavorable salts. Catabolism, bacteria and fungi secrete enzymes to further degrade the fragmented detritus into simple organic compounds. Humification, this process leads to the formation of humus, a dark colloidal substance rich in nutrients which resist further decomposition. Mineralization, microbes further break down humus and other organic matter, releasing inorganic nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, and gases, carbon dioxide, water back into the soil. Products of decomposition, inorganic substances, carbon dioxide, water, nutrients, essential inorganic nutrients like nitrates, phosphates, etc., released into the soil. Humus, a stable, dark, nutrient-rich organic material that improves soil structure and fertility, acting as a nutrient reservoir. And here is your last question. Give an account of energy flow and ecosystem. When we ask about the energy flow and ecosystem, it is the very vast answer, but still I tried to shorten it out. But see, energy flow in an ecosystem is the transfer of energy from the sun through various living organisms in a unidirectional and non-cyclic manner. It is a critical process and sustains life and follows the laws of thermodynamics. Primary source and capture the solar radiation. The sun is the primary source of energy for almost all ecosystems. About 50% of incident solar radiation is photosynthetically active radiation, that is PAR. Energy capture, producers capture only about 2 to 10% of solar energy to produce organic matter through photosynthesis via photosynthesis. Exception, deep sea hydrothermal vent ecosystems rely on chemosynthesis rather than sunlight using chemical energy from inorganic molecules. Trophic levels and 10% law means energy moves through the sequential levels known as trophic levels, and only 10% of energy from one level is transferred to the next level. And T1, producers convert radiant energy into chemical energy. T2, that is primary producers, herbivores that gain energy by eating producers. T3, T4, they are tertiary consumers. So carnivores that eat animals, energy availability decreases drastically at these levels. And energy loss, approximately 90% of energy at each level is lost as heat during metabolic processes like respiration, growth, and reproduction. And energy flow models, ecologists use models to represent the complex transfer. Means single channel model, matlab a linear representation of energy moving from producers to top predators. Y-shaped or double channel, it depicts the simultaneous flow of energy through the grazing food chain and the detritus food chain. Food web, a more realistic interconnected network showing multiple feeding relationships which provides greater stability to the ecosystem. Thermodynamic principles, the flow of energy is governed by two fundamental laws. First law, energy is neither created nor destroyed, only transformed from one form to another. And second law, every every energy transformation involves a loss of 90%. This is used for metabolic processes like respiration, movement, growth, and loss as heat. This limits the number of trophic level in the food chain. So main characteristic, it is unidirectional, energy flows in one way and does not cycle back like nutrients, and available, the progressive decrease. Available energy diminishes rapidly at higher trophic levels, supporting fewer organisms. But again, the food chains and food waste simple linear pathway energy transfer through the food chain, that is grass eaten by goat, goat is eaten by lion. Food interconnected food chains showing the complex leading relationship ecosystem. So energy flows through an ecosystem is a one-way, inefficient stream fueling life but constantly diminishing, making producers the vital entry point and decomposers, the final recyclers of matter, but not energy. That is what all about the exercise. Any doubt anywhere, you can ask me in the comment section. Please subscribe to my channel, and again we will meet in the next video. Thank you.